I thought we had our opportunities there in the second half. So frustrated, disappointed, hurt, all the kind of stuff that happens when you lose. There's no doubt about that. I think everybody in that locker room feels the exact same way. I thought the way that the game started, which has happened a handful of times this year and happened last week against Houston, that makes it tough when you're digging holes. They score 16 in the first 4 minutes of the game, and we got to find ways to get off the better starts and not dig holes. We're going to continue to work to do that. You look down, they shoot 50% both halves. Like, I think when we've been at our best this year, and 10 days ago I looked up and we're, I think, 25th in the country in defensive efficiency on KenPom, which is a stat and a ranking system that I really value. So you're guarding top 25 defense in the country 10 days ago. We haven't, I thought at South Florida we were back to that a little bit, but outside of the South Florida game, we haven't defended like that. And if we don't get back to defending, we got to get back to defending like that to consistently compete in these type of games over 40 minutes. And we weren't able to do that for 40 minutes tonight. So I think, give Memphis credit. I didn't think we had a lack of effort. I didn't think we had a lack of want to, a lack of togetherness. I don't have any problems with our team's approach or the things going on within the locker room. These kids have been fantastic. We just got to continue to stay together. We got to continue to work. And if we do that, we'll get out of this little thing that's going on here last week, not feeling good after games. It'll happen. And we got 48 hours with Wichita State's back to playing like Wichita State. And we got 48 hours before another great team comes in here. We got to turn the page and get ready. But I was proud of the way the kids dug back in the second half. I thought we had our chances. We didn't get enough stops. We had some chances to convert some things and didn't do it. And, I'm disappointed in the outcome, but we got to stay together, turn the page, and get ready for a game 48 hours from now. The last thing I'll say, I might save you guys a couple of questions. Their pressure in the first half and their pressing, I thought it just had a tremendous impact on us offensively. It took us out of – and they tried to do it in our first game, and I thought we handled it really well. But it took us out of our running game. It took us out of our half-court offense. They're doubling Dave. It felt like on every on-ball action, sometimes not even on-ball action. And we struggled to handle that and convert and make plays. That had an effect on the possessions in the first half where they didn't do that. Because it had us so out of whack. Then you start pressing and guys aren't in the right spots. So it had a big effect on us. And then I thought we adjusted to it later in the first half, and we talked a lot about it at halftime, and I thought we did a better job with some of the things they were doing in the second half. But that had a big impact on the game, and you've got to give Penny and that staff credit for that.
You took my question.
So. I was trying to help you get out of here quickly.
Appreciate that. What does it say about this locker room and this team that they didn't pack it in at halftime, that they didn't play well in the first half clearly, but they came out and fought and got this place kind of rocking and behind them?
Yeah, this team's got great character, and for a group that hasn't been together very long, collectively, all of us, right? To this point, I always say to this point, because we got to do it again tomorrow, like the togetherness and the resilience, the stuff that you want in a team. This group has been great in that way, and it's got to continue to grow. And you separate yourselves not always by every result, but by how you handle tough moments. That's just life. It's just basketball. And that's what I told them in the locker room. We're going through a tough stretch. All right? Well, there's no way of avoiding that. You want to compete at the highest level of college basketball, you're going to go through some tough stretches. That's part of life. It's part of basketball. The separators, the people that are different, are the people that handle it differently. And we got to handle it by continuing to get more together, continue to be more resilient, continue to work harder, and I believe in my heart this team will do that. Are we down? Heck yeah, we're down. But the locker room is not an issue on this team. It's actually very admirable. You mentioned the crowd. Unbelievable atmosphere. I want to win for these people so badly. Our players want to win. But they helped us get back in the game. And we want to turn the corner in one of these games for them so badly. I just hope they know that if they saw the way our kids worked every day, they'd be proud. Even though they might not be proud of the result the last week, they'd be proud of how the kids are working. The young men, I should say, are working. They're not all kids, but how they're working. And so we're going to keep working, and we're going to work even harder. But that atmosphere, especially when we dug back in and started making runs and getting back in the game, that was pretty special, and we got to bring it even more for those kind of people.
You talked after the Tulsa game about kind of being frustrated because you knew you could play better. You mentioned the same thing in the first half. Was the second half the flip side of that? Did you get back to playing the way that this team can play?
I thought in moments, I thought there was moments where we got to loose balls quick. I thought our will to do it, Justin, was where it needed to be. Like sometimes I was frustrated with our team after the Tulsa game. No problem saying that. Frustrated with the way that we approached it. And I was really proud of how we handled South Florida. So it hadn't been all that this week. I wasn't frustrated with our team today. I was frustrated with some of our play, but not our guys and our effort, I should say, or the will to want to do it right. But they shoot 50% both halves. We got to get back to not allowing that ever. And that's what our teams need to be about.
It seemed like there was better energy, maybe toughness in the second half. Them still, shooting over 50%. Is that them making shots, or is there just an execution thing, even with better energy that wasn't working?
Yeah, I think it's possession to possession. There's a couple possessions I have in my head where they make some great plays. They throw it over the top of Duren. We're probably playing our coverage okay. It wasn't like we were playing poorly, and he makes a heck of a play. It's probably why he'll be a lottery pick, right? And, I think Landers Nolly makes a shot over Mason. I thought it was really well contested on a big possession. There's some plays that you're going to say, hey, you play big-time games against big-time players and teams. Guys are going to make plays. And there's going to be some plays where you go, we guarded well and they scored. There's also some plays where you're going to be really frustrated. 2 times tonight, our defense is back. It's not even transition. Our defense is back. 5 guys are over half court for Cincinnati. And Tyler Harris is in the corner, and nobody's guarding. Those are the unacceptable things. And that's the stuff. And we lose a 2-possession game. Well, there's 6 points right there. And that's the areas you got to correct. And we got to be a team that doesn't make those kind of errors. But is that because we didn't want to do it? No. Or we weren't trying to do it? No. Their will's where it needs to be.
With Memphis' size, this is a game where Abdul's worth is huge. Not having him out there, how much did that impact your team tonight? And then also, do you have an update on his health?
Well, just like tough moments are part of this thing, having guys miss games with injuries and miss stretches, that's part of it. So don't think for 1 second I'm going to get in the excuse business. We got to get our asses better. And everybody's had guys miss games. That's just college basketball. But we're better with Abdul. His defensive impact, I think, is as good as anybody in the American Conference on a possession-to-possession basis. And, rolled his ankle against South Florida, gave it a go against Tulsa after not practicing. And probably shouldn't have, looking back on it, because he wasn't moving like himself in the Tulsa game. And it swelled up a lot on him after the Tulsa game, maybe even worse than it was after South Florida. He did not practice this week. He tried to give it a go and shoot around and could not. He's a warrior, guys. So he's going to, if he can go, he'll go. But we got to get him back healthy because I think he's been tremendous anchor to our defense.
You can do 2 more questions.
You mentioned Jalen Duren earlier. Obviously, when you guys were getting back in the game, you did a really good job taking him out of the game specifically. What were you guys able to do successfully at that start of the second half?
We did a good job taking him out.
Yeah, the first 4 minutes he was 0-5 in the second half.
Well, I thought contesting shots around the basket. Sometimes I think people watch basketball and you see somebody miss a 2, 3-footer or 4-footer and you think, well, man, they got a great shot. Sometimes if you contest it correctly, it's not as high a percentage shot as maybe people think. And I thought we did a better job of not giving him angles and making him score over our chest. Now, he's very capable of making all those shots, but I thought we made it a little more difficult. And then there were some moments that we gave him angles. Hayden's got him on the block there, on the left block in the second half, and we let him beat us for an angle to finish. He's a great player. Guys, we're going to be watching him play 82 games next year, okay? He's a great player, and he's capable of making all the tough ones. But when you make it go over your chest, you got a better chance. And I thought we did a nice job with some positional defense around the basket early in the second half.
Assist numbers have been down over the past couple weeks offensively. Is that a major concern for you, or is that just kind of how the offense is flowing right now? Is it something you're looking to get back up, or are you okay with where it's at?
Yeah, I think we probably think about it a little deeper than just a true assist number. You know, if you break the defense down and you deliver the ball to somebody and then deliver the ball to somebody else and you get a quality shot and they miss it, well, that to me is just as good as if they make it, because the action to create that shot, you know, is the exact same, just the result's different. So we kind of gauge it more like how many times do we break the defense down and make the right play. We're probably not doing that as consistently, and then we're probably missing some tough ones here. I thought, you know, you look back at the last couple games, you know, we don't shoot it well on a couple shots that are, you know, very high percentage shots over the last week. Well, that's not an assist problem or a sharing the ball problem. That's a conversion problem. And so it's a little bit of both. We got to get in a better rhythm offensively. It's the second half of league play. People tend to lock in and guard you better. But, yeah, I want our assists to be 19-20 like they were during the stretch here early in conference play. I think when that happens, you know you're going to be really good offensively. But, you know, it's not as big of an issue as just a true stat. We are still doing some really nice stuff to break down the defense, share the ball, and find people, but it does need to get a lot better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.